Good morning, traders. Welcome to the trading room. I was just telling the traders this morning in the Asian session, we actually took 3 trades. We sold gold, we sold euro, and we sold the euro. So I'll come to those as we go along. Those are all moving very good. So worst case in those is you're going to get break even. You can already take some profit out of them if you want, because we were expecting all of them. We were expecting all of them to go back up. These are not long-term trades. They're very short-term trades within the corrective structures, right? Um, Thank you guys for your patience the last couple weeks that I've actually been on and off to my traders. Our trading room was working all the time. So big thanks to all of you who keeps it going. I can see a lot of you in the room already. And special thanks to Johan for keeping it going and some of the times running the sessions when I was off. And a lot of the other guys were participating as well. I hope you guys can keep it going there, and all of you should participate as active as you can. The trading room is set up in such a way that any one of you can open the room. This is one of the very few rooms where that is happening, where not the host, there's not a single host only, but any trader who is part of the group can participate and be the host. I don't think there's another group that exists in this format, right? So take advantage of that. Learn to share your screens and do all of that. For my YouTube viewers, this a short video will be out on YouTube for you guys. I was promising you that I'll do 1 week free sessions, but things keep coming up as I came to Moscow, and something else comes up, so I can't give you any guarantee that I'm going to do it anytime this month. Maybe until next month. My son has to go do a surgery, and a few more other things are coming up, so once I get settled down and everything is okay, I would do a week free for all my YouTube viewers. If you really, really like what I do, here's the thing, and don't take this as a promotion, because I hate the idea. I mean, if you have been with me for 5 years and still don't believe that I'm not trying to promote myself in sales, then something's wrong with you, because for 5 years I haven't been doing any kind of ad that, hey, 50% discount, buy this, buy that. And I've been here for like 10 years, right? And I've never done that. So I don't know if I have to still convince you that that is what I'm trying to do, right? My purpose is not to sell you some set of videos only, because then I would be doing a lot of promotions, and there were a lot of offers that I had to do that, which I refused. But I would like you to join the group. I wouldn't lie on that. I would like you to join the group, mostly because you will increase and you will become a better trader. Ask the traders who are in the group already. They will tell you. It will help you to become a better trader. I don't care how successful you are, where you are right now, whether you're doing everything great. If you can't read the charts correctly, more or less your success is accidental. If you were making success because you can read the charts correctly, then yeah, you actually know what you're doing. So you're either successful by knowing what you do, or you're accidentally successful. If you might as well start getting to know what you do by being successful. I think that's a great thing. And if you're in this group, like I said, the room is always open. You can become the host. You can join. You're in a group of amazing set of traders. This group will always be here, whether I am here or not. That has already been proven. Whether I am in the group, whether I'm active, whether I'm in here or not, this group will remain here. So if you want to be with a group of very, very good traders, this is your chance to join them. So I want you to be in a group like this, right? Whether you can join or not, it's up to you. It's your call. But I would like you to be, because I personally would like to see the group remaining the way it is. You're paying one time and you have lifetime access. That's it. You're paying for just the training session that I'll give you 6 weeks, and then the rest of the time is absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything for that. Now, if you can't afford to pay for the trading session immediately, you can do it. We give the options to traders who have smaller accounts to join it in installment program. There's a lot of installment traders who've completed their payment and they're in the group. There are a lot of them who are halfway in their payment and they will be in the group very soon, right? So that's the only thing I want to say to you. If you want to have access to these live trading sessions where we are actually taking trades and we're monitoring them and we're giving you the update on what we do with every trade, right? If I said we took this trade, we're telling you what we're going to do with it or what you can do with it. And most times the traders who complete the course don't need me to tell them what to do with the trade. They're capable of, they just need my view. Is my view in line with their view? And that's all. If it's in line, then great. It's just enhance what they do, right? They're capable of doing it on their own. So if you think you like what I do, send me a Skype message and you can join anytime. Since I'm not active for the last couple of days here now, I'm not encouraging new traders to join. But once I do the 1 week free session, You can join. We will give you 2 months access for the payment of the first month so you can make a better decision. Right? The whole point is that it will allow you to make a better decision. That said, let's start. Dollar index. Okay, my computer is stalling out now. Let's get this going. Okay, let me set up I think I have to add, VPN is on. Because I'm in Moscow, and without VPN, most of these things don't work. Come on. Yep, dollar index. So dollar index is going up. We're looking at it, and we expect this to go up. So here's the thing. If you were in this trade from here, you want to take it off and put an entry here. There's a reason for that. Once it starts consolidating here, the chance are it could come lower. And this becomes a bigger consolidation for upside still. So the only way this will change the downside is if this comes deeper. You don't have to sell it. There is no sell setup on it, right? As it stands right now, there is no sell setup. Now, should this come lower here, right? Then we will put it like this, and it still remains a buy setup. If it makes a flag here, well, then by that's probably a New York session. We'll consider if we want to sell it to retest this low. Because it can do that. See, they drop like this, they can do this again, and they can do this. And if they start doing that, well, we have a good idea what they're doing, right? So right now it's a buy setup. Why is the chart so slow? Yep. So silver this morning, this is what we're looking at. If you look at the bigger picture, and I think this is where these lines are coming from, the bigger picture. The bigger picture, that looks like a running flat. And if you were here last week, well, this might be midweek when we had this here, and we like, okay, it's gonna come here, retest this stop, make a running flat, come back here, and then we're expecting this to go, but it's not going. So if you're a wave trader, what you would say, is that the pattern, or is it creating another pattern? Is there something else we're missing in some one of these patterns? Could it be a much more complex pattern? Is this going to be an expanding flat? These are all questions. None of those are trading. It's a trade. Those are just the analysis of what it can do. And then if it does that, then you said, okay, I've got a trade set up. Let me take the trade, right? So now that it's consolidating at the bottom here, the question is it making a flat here? And if it's making a flat here, where would that go? Now, you can always come back and say, well, this was the first move up after this consolidation. This should actually go break the top. So even if it comes here, the risk is it might not go very far before it starts going up. So if you're going to take this trade, and you should take the trade if you get a trade set up, the risk is it might not really go very far before it goes back up. So what you're going to do is come into the lower time frame here and see if it's actually trying to do that. Now, let me take this out because I don't think that's what they're trying to do, right? I don't think we're trying to go down as yet. We can't prove that in any of the patterns we see because these are all sharp waves. So there are two options here. This is actually making a flat here for upside, or all of this is trying to make some kind of a consolidation for one more down. There is no sell setup. As it stands right now, there is no sell setup. There's a closer thing to a buy setup if you want. That is buying above this top. Should this be the flag for upside, right? That's a better trade, right? Like this one here. See that small one? That's a better trade when you have 1, 2, and you think you're going to come get 3 here, right? So this is a better trade for upside than for downside. Now, if you put an entry order here, you can't go wrong. I've explained this a million times. This is like the safest trade. You can't go wrong with that. Right? Because the bigger picture, oh, come on, what's wrong with all these things here? Yeah. The bigger picture is if this is coming down, it wouldn't tag you. That's simple, right? If it's coming down, the only way we're going to sell this is if we get a flag here, right? If it comes down, make a flag, we start selling. But to the upside, you can put an entry there, and should it do this, you'll be in that trade. Now, what if it comes up slowly? Well, then don't trade it. Take it off, because if it comes up slowly, it's making some kind of a bigger correction here. So the up move has to be quick. It has to be an impulse. It has to go break this top. And in that case, we'll be looking at this as a running flat. The running flat forecast we made since last week. Once we had this flat in the middle of that, if you know anything of wave analysis, you're thinking regular flat and running flat. Most times it's a running flat. So upside, possible. Gold, on the other hand, we sold. Why did we sell gold? Well, because this one here was a move down. This is a very sharp move. We didn't break the top. You made a flag here. Well, what's the option? The option is it comes back, tag the low, or it makes a flat in here. If it makes a flat in here, it's going to go back up one more, come back to the bottom here, and then go. So you can take this because it might come back to the bottom here, then go there, make a running flat like this, and then drop. Now, those are the patterns that we've seen in the past when the structure is behaving the way it's behaving now, right? Those are the patterns you see. So what you're saying is that based on what you have now, what are the likely possibility to happen? And that is why this sell here is a good idea, because the likely possibility is that it definitely will come and break this low. That's a 90% chance. But because I didn't take it because of that. That's a very small trade. I take it because the chance are it could also come and tag this low. Remember, this is an impulse within this impulse. So what you're making is a corrective part here. And if we're thinking more downside in gold, then we could think running flat. Right? So the bigger picture is you're thinking more downside. Let's go back to the bigger picture and see if that's true. So this is what the bigger picture. This is the first move into it. I explained this morning in the Asian session, but I can do it here just for you guys. So we're going up, right? I'll do this very quick, see how fast I can do it. You're going up. The correction is always the first impulse down. So you can assume that this is the first impulse down, but because we broke the top, you can assume this is the first impulse down. So which one is? This is definitely an impulse to the upside. That's not a correction, right? So if that's an impulse to the upside and this is the first impulse down, then you're going to get one more down here to complete this one as a flat. You're going to go back up as an impulse, come back here, and then go. Can we make a flat like this before we go up? I think that's a normal. That's a basic flat pattern we have seen like a million times. Now, if this is the top, and this looks very corrective, so you can make an argument that this is the top, then the question is, this is the first impulse down. This is the correction. This comes here and then goes, break the top. So in either scenario, there's a chance that this comes back here. And that means downside is very likely. Now, when you think downside is very likely, you have to ask yourself, from where would it start the downside? When we were looking at this pattern, we were looking at the break of this top. Once it breaks that top, the chances are this could have come here. So we were already selling this because that possibility existed. And then it started going up. It becomes a correction. It go up. Okay, we saw that. Can this here become another correction like that and go back up one more and break the top? That's okay. Could even break this top. It will still be some kind of a running flat, right? Would this be a correction, this a correction, this an impulse, this an impulse? In that case, you can either think channel or running flat. Both are similar in their structural way they look and their appearance. So come back to here. That is the analysis. Now you're going to look for the trade. And if you know all of that, then this trade is a good trade. Regardless of what happened, the worst case is you're going to get break even, right? Now, we still don't know if this is trying to go to the bottom. I just explained that it could come back to the bottom here. Or is it making another consolidation to go on? And you don't have to know that. I've explained this a million times about wave analysis. You don't have to know what pattern it's making right now. You have to know all the existing patterns and how they look, like what parts you're looking for in each one of it, right? It's like a whole series of different cars, right? And each one is structured differently. So you're going to see which one it is. If somebody is to take out all the brand and just give you the engine and said, okay, hey, look at this, tell me which car this engine belongs to, you would look at all the different parts in it and then decide which one it is, right? If you have to make it, well, it's the same thing here. You're going to look at the way it's structured and then decide what possible patterns could be made from what you have. And the more it develops, as it comes closer to the end of the pattern, the closer you are to making that exact point, exact decision on what pattern it is. So as it starts to form, you can still trade because you're looking at the bigger one to make the decision where the likely first move will go. And if this is going up, the likely first move is down. That is why we were selling. And then this happened. And we were expecting that to go up, but I was expecting it to break the top. When we saw this here, we were like, okay, this could break out and go break the top because this was looking very corrective. Turns out, might be a correction still. We don't know that. Right? We have to wait and see what this does. So that sell is okay. Right now, if you're in that sell, you got to be really careful because the chances could go back up. I would not close the trade immediately to take profit. I'll see how it's moving here and then decide whether to close the trade because their chances are, like I said, it could come back to this low. One candle is not enough reason to close it, but I mean, if you have enough profit, traders take it out and they wait for the next flag to sell. Right now, there's no trade in it. The trade is gone from this morning. The euro is another one we took because it could come. We're looking at a possibility that this is trying to make a running flat here with this, because there's a lot of correction here. There's a pullback here, possible running flat. Now, if this is the absolute top and this is a contracting flat, that option, you can either go with this here as a contracting flat. There are two possible contracting flats there. Contracting flats are really, really difficult in, you make an assumption is a contracting flat, but every contracting flat can become a running flat in the future. So when you're trading a contracting flat, if you assume that this was a contracting flat and you're trading that, because I was expecting this to drop here and then go back up, and that would be a perfect flat. What's the difference between a regular flat and a contracting flat? Is that the C wave drops short of breaking the low. So if that is a contracting flat, then this, right, could be a correction for upside, or this could be going down totally. So this sell here is a good idea. All you have to do is get break even out of it. Once you start consolidating here, close the trade. Because it's not dropping. The idea is it has to drop. So right now, we will be looking at this as a possible flat forming here. If this goes back to the top, if this goes back here, you have a small flat form here for downside. And if we're going down now, I would most likely go with this as a contracting flat. This is the top of the move, and this one is dropping. Now, if you think it's going to drop, the next question you ask is, where do you think it's going to go? Right? If it's dropping, where to? What's the big picture? Well, first, I want to see it break this top. I want to make sure that that top is broken. And then we're looking for a very sharp move down like this. So I'll take this out for now. We'll come back to this sharp one because that sharp one is also plays a part. Some kind of a huge correction is happening here. By the time you get to the end of it, we'll know, right? You can see that correction. All the pairs, all the majors are in a daily correction, which means we have a daily impulse. We have a daily impulse. We have a part of a first impulse of the correction, and they're all in some stage in this. All of them. At some point, you're going to get another one like that. Right? But right now, they're all in here. So we're trading inside that consolidation. And this one has a 1. This is pretty sharp, so I don't think that's a 2, but you can go with 2 and you can go with 3. So let's come back here. We haven't broken the top. I don't think we have. No, we haven't broken the top. I think on the dollar index, we broke the low, but in the euro, we haven't broken the top. Can it come down back without breaking that top? I think it can. This can actually come back here without breaking the top and then go back up. Or you can end up with a running flat here as we think. Go break the top and then come back here. So if you're selling it, you're selling with the assumption that it could come all the way to the bottom here. Which means if we get this sell setup here today, we'll take it. The first sell setup is closed. The second sell setup, if we get, you'll take it. But before you sell it here, you want to make sure that this comes back to the top here. And then we'll see if we can get a sell from the top or if we'll get a sell from here.
Anil, which bottom are you looking to break on the dollar index?
On the dollar index top, you mean? This bottom. If it drops one more here, but if it goes up, we're coming for this top.
No, because we didn't break the 4 hour. We didn't break this one yet.
We broke this one. On my chart, it broke it. This. I think this morning we saw this broke it. This is incorrect?
Oh, sorry, my chart is different. Sorry.
Okay. Well, then we have, in that case, we have to compare 6 charts or couple charts. Compare a couple charts and see maybe it didn't break because euro didn't break. So you guys check it in a couple charts and then see if it break, because this morning when I checked, I realized it broke.
Okay.
So if it's not broken, we'll work that out in the trading room in the next session. All right, let's see if it breaks. So watch this here, because this didn't break the top, which is strange. The dollar index broke and this didn't. So let's see what this is giving us. I think a running flat is most likely here. Pung has a small flag forming there. The same thing with the Pung contracting or running flat. So in this case, running flat here, you can go with that, not contracting, or a bigger running flat here. So we have it both sides. This looks like a small flat here forming here, and this looks like a bigger flat forming here. So if this drops, the chances are it might just do this and then go back up. The sell on the Pung is a more dangerous trade than the sell on the euro. So I think we'll try to see where we get a better entry if we want to sell the Pung. I don't like the idea of selling the Pongas yet. I would probably let it drop and make a second flag and then go with the second flag because there's a lot of consolidation here, right? Which means that one more upside is possible. This was the one I expected to drop on Friday, this one. I thought this one would drop, right? Because this came down pretty deep. But then this went back, pull back. Once it comes to the top, you know it's going to pull back. And then again, is that the running flat? Or will this drop here and make this the running flat? And then go. I don't like this trade today. So I think probably find another major that has a better setup than this one. Aussie definitely will come and break this top. We already made that forecast a while back that we're going to go break that up. It's a consolidation. Right? This is pretty easy, right? You're making a nice consolidation here. And then you're looking for this trade up. Now, can we trade in that consolidation? Let's go take a look because we're inside of it and we probably will be there for a day or so more. This is a sharp move down. You got all this consolidation going up there. Now, the question is whether this correction is over, right? I would expect them to come and retest the low here and then go. So any break of this low, you start to look for your buy setup, right? This looks very corrective here. Now, what I don't like, this had a pullback here. What I don't like is this huge pullback here, right? Now, can this go back up one more, break the top, and then come here and then go? Yeah, that's possible. We'll still be in the consolidation, just a bigger one. So the buy now is not a great idea, but wait for it to come back, right? If this starts to drop, and I don't see any reason why this can't drop here suddenly. If this drop here and you want to sell that, that is okay. If you're there, you have to be in front of your screen to take that trade because you'll have to get rid of it somewhere here. This buy setup, don't miss. If the buy setup is going to bring it back to the top here, we can check to see when that correction is finished, give it a day or so, and then we're looking for the buy to break this top. The buy should be a really good trade, some news event or something. So this buy was a good one that came down back, went up, come down back, go now. Let's see. New Zealand would be the same thing. Right? New Zealand would be exactly the same thing on the big picture, on the 4 hour. Just bigger consolidation to come break this top. Again, we are open to two possibilities here. Either this is part of it because it's not coming from the top. This is the top as a running flat. Or if that is not part of it, this is the top. Then this consolidation here could be the core correction. Come here, go back there, come back here, and then go there. Right? So you just have to wait to see which one. Okay. Now, that is the analysis. Again, for those who are not new to this, right? That is where we try to figure out where we think it's going to go. And then we decide what's the trade. So right now, I don't see any trade to sell this. There's no reason to sell it. We looked at it this morning. There's no reason to sell it. There's also no reason to buy it as yet. So we'll just leave it for now and then come back to that because there's no setup there that I see we want to trade. CAD, on the other hand, CAD is another one. If you bought CAD, right? If you were there this morning, this was on, I think the last time Thursday afternoon I was on, this was or Friday morning, this was a buy here because we've got that reversal. When it made this pull back and drop here, if you actually put it here, that's great. If you didn't, then no big deal. This morning, you should have closed and re-enter, or if you stayed with it, get it to break even. Now you're getting a small running flat here. That means you can put the next entry here. You can put another entry here. And why would you want an entry there for the upside? Because this one is going up, right? We wanted it to come and break the low. It broke the low, and now it's going up. Now, that doesn't mean it can break the low again, right? Breaking the low once doesn't mean it can break the low twice. I remember the Bitcoin situation when it broke top once, when it was at 89 or something. We were looking at the daily and the 4-hour charts. I was like, guys, it broke the top. Be careful. You got to get rid of your buys now and start looking for sell setups. And then it came down a little and it went and it broke the top again. And I think all of you remember what happened, right? With a guy who was selling his house to buy Bitcoin because I'm stupid and he's smart. And then it started dropping like crazy, right? So breaking the low by itself once is not the end of it. That's the reason why I'm getting to this, right? So that it can't come back here, retest the low and go. That doesn't change this structure for upside. But here's the thing. Every buy setup you get, you take. Because you don't know when you're going to get that sudden spike and you get 5-1. Right? You don't know when it's going to come. Like this was a good buy to take. And if you didn't take that buy, you missed most of this trade to the upside. So the same thing here. The first buy was that. The second buy, well, you can, if you want to close then re-enter, that's a good idea. Let's see if we get another flag here. On a 15, on a 1 hour or 15, I think there's a running flat there. If I'm wrong about the running flat, it will make a flat on its own. Because this one is not exactly sharp. Right, this one came down really slow. So if it starts making a flat here, All you'll have to do is wait for this to break out. Can we sell it? What if it's dropping? That's why we close this trade if you're in that. What if it's dropping? What if it's coming to retest the low again? And this was just a 1, 2, 3 deeper correction to come here. I think all my traders know exactly what you need to wait for to get the trade for the sell, because we don't have a sell setup. It has to drop more, make a flag, and then you can decide, well, okay, I like this flag for the sell. Swiss, right now it's a buy setup. It's an active buy. Swiss. Yep, we leave this alone because it's kind of consolidating this. The bigger picture is upside, but it might come and break this low here first before they go. Because this is what the bigger picture looks like. See? We made 1, 2, 3. And we had it like this last week, if you remember. I thought this one would come back here and then go. But once it starts consolidating here, I don't think it's not looking like it's convincingly going down. Unless it's going to go down really slow, like come break this low here and then pull back and do this and then eventually go, and we will still come back with this whole big pattern here. So you can take both sides, but right now it's looking more upside from there, right? So with the upside start from, we don't have a buy setup. We actually have a sell setup, which means if this starts to drop here, expect it to come and break this low. You can put an entry order to sell here. It's not the best though, but you can put an entry order there. Or you can just wait. Can this break out? Well, there's a lot of pullback in here. So if it's going to break, if you think it's upside, you want it to break out of this structure, retrace that last impulse, prove it's not making a running flat by dropping, but making a consolidation above that top. So any consolidation above this top now becomes a buy. Go there, make a consolidation here, buy. Go there, break the top, drop. You can look for a sell here to come. So right now, no trade. Yen, sell setup. It's not ready, but we're looking for a sell setup here. I think it will drop here. There's a good, okay, this one actually even went up a little more. So this might do this. You can actually go for the buy. It's short-lived because you have 1, 2 here. This is going up. You got this. You come here. You probably do 1, 2, come back here, and then go. So these are going to be really short trades if you're buying them. Once this pattern is completed, look for a sell. Okay, that's for the majors. I'm going to go through some of these. Natural gas, sell setup. This was the sell setup. You're getting another sell setup here, but these are very short term. There's a huge flat here if you look at it this way. This is a huge flat. So you get 1, 2, and you're getting 3 here. This looks like a correction, or it looks like a very sharp correction like that. So you could repeat the same thing here and then drop. If we get this pattern, that would be an easy trade. So if this drops here, start to go back up, you get rid of the trade, you look for the buy setup. And then if we get that as a running flat, we look for the sell. We don't know if it's going to be a running flat as yet. But the sell setup here is a good idea. US oil. Wait some more. US 30, by the way, we had a sell setup this morning. It's a valid sell setup. Now, this one is a long explanation. I don't want to go through the whole details of it. We'll have to go through the daily, the 4 and everything. But for our group, we're looking at a sell setup. Now, we will only take off that sell if this comes higher here. If it comes back to the top here, then it will still drop, but we'll take off the sell because it's just going to come here, make a flat, and then go one more. It will become a buy setup. It has to drop like now. Otherwise, it's not valid. S&P 500, there is a sell setup, but this is not a very good one because this one is at the top. See that? So this could come here, come back here, either take off or come back to the bottom here, go there, come back here, and then go. It's looking more upside than downside. And NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, we have to wait and see what's happening here, how far this goes, because this is your impulse. This is the impulse against it. If this comes here, go back to the top and then come here, that's a flat for a buy. A buy within this impulse. Because it's going to go there, it's going to come back here and then go. Should this drop lower, it's going to go back up and then drop. So we'll get a sell setup. 1 second, guys. Just give me a second, please. Okay, sorry about that. So this is what we have for these, right? Let's go. Bitcoin. Okay, let's see. Finally, it gave you the buy. So if you remember, we're looking once it breaks this low. Once it breaks this low here, you start to look for your buy setup. I hope some of you managed to get a buy because that's what we're looking for. Come here, break this low. This is the up structure, right? Like 1, 2, 3. That's an upside structure. It could stay longer in that structure, but if you get a buy setup here, that was a good trade. If you get another buy setup here, keep going. This can either break out. That's one option because you can assume that this here was all the correction. 1, 2, 3. Or it can come to the top here and come back down, and this will just become a more long drawn out correction. But every time you break the lows, you're looking for buy setups. So any other buy setup you get, you can take. As you come to the top, you'll be more caution, right? You'll watch it to see where it, it's totally take off. So let's see, it's moving fast. So I don't see any reason why it can't break out. Ethereum, upside also. But this upside is limited. See? This upside is limited to come back to the top here because I don't think this one is going to break out. This move is really, really sharp. See that? This is more corrective and this is more corrective. So I think if it comes here, we're likely going to come back down here for a bigger flat because this one never broke the top. So this is not an impulse that is out of the structure. That's impulse within the structure. So this could move to the top here and there's a good chance it comes back here before it goes. So keep your eyes on that one. When we do break that top, right? When we do break that top, which is this coming here, come back to the bottom here, go back, break that top, and then there's a chance we could get this. Because you're going to have a big flat here, you're going to have a flat here, you're going to have a flat here, then when it's together, it's probably going to come back here. But it will come and break this top, that's for sure. Get to about the 4,000. It could even come all the way to this top and then come back. So try to get a trade to the top here, but be careful when you get it to positive because it can come right back here. XRP, let me go to the 1 hour. XRP is upside. See this one here. Once it breaks this low, we're looking for upside. Right? Come break this low and then go up. So we broke the low and we're going. So this is not a surprise. They should come and break this top here now, which means you can continue to look for buy setups. You will have some short-term sell setups, but you can look for buy setups. So this looks like a small flag here, but I think this one will work its way up to the top. Come here, make a flat, and this could be a nice buy setup for you. Right? Look for that one. Okay, you bought the LTC and sushi. Okay, great. So my traders are actively trading. I think you can see there all of them have that setup. I don't know if I need to go to all of them. Let's see if we have LTC, right? Let's see if I have that one on for you. No, but I have this one. I think this one you said you bought. Yeah, this one is okay. So what's the big picture? Also upside, I think. Okay, be careful with this one. There's a chance it could break this low before it goes. All right, we haven't broken this low here as yet. It could, not necessarily that it would break the low, but it could break it. Unless we're going for a bigger flat. So just get it. I think you already have positive in that. Let's see how high it goes. Because I wouldn't be surprised if this drops one more. If this here come one more. If this drop one more, break the low and then start up. That possibility exists. Let's see what else we have. We can do a few more. I'm not sure which one you guys want. This is a good buy setup. I think it's easy. They come break the low and then go back up, right? This one we put it from there, sell it to come break this low. Actually, the reason it stopped exactly here was because we were just measuring the last move down. So that arrow was actually giving you this last move down that it should come here, and that's exactly where it stopped. It did make another one flag, two flat before it go, and now it's upside. Where would this go to the upside? Well, we broke all the lows. Here's what I would be looking for first. I'd be looking for this first. I want to exclude the possibility of a running flat there. Let me see if I can show that to traders. So I want to exclude the possibility of this being a running flat. That's a big move to the top there, right? And then come back here and then go. But if it keeps going, hey, good for you because you already break the low. That's the lowest point in a long time. So once it broke that low, you should start looking for buy setup, and this is a good thing. Any buy setup you get, you can take. Wait for another flag here and buy. Let's see what this has. This is getting a buy setup now. Like you're trying to create the buy setup here now. Let it come back here and then look for that buy setup. Let's see link. Link already broke out of this. An entry out of here would have been a good one. Let's see what else we have here. Gala. Don't buy this as yet. The impulse is really small, so I wouldn't be surprised if they actually go one more down. We were expecting this to go up from here. Let me see why was the bigger picture there. Oh, the bigger picture is coming up for this one, but maybe we wouldn't get that. We'll have to see if that makes a contracting flat or running flat somewhere. So be careful with this. It could go one more down. Right? It looks like we might not get this up move, but instead we might be coming down to retest this low here. So that looks very correct if it could drop one more. Which means that I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin comes down a little more too. So guys, for my YouTube viewers, I hope you enjoy what you see. If you'd like to have the analysis for all of these and more, which is including all of this you have at the bottom here, right? Because we do them on and off, depending on if any of our traders is in a trade in any one of them at any given time. So you can join us. Send me a Skype message. The Skype is always in the description. Send me a Skype message and we can talk. Like I said, you don't really have to join right now, but if you have your interest, send me a message still. I'll tell you when and how we can start doing that. Okay, with that said, thank you very much. Have a great week ahead of you and trade with care.